Eleven has survived some crazy odds in all 4 seasons of Stranger Things. She closed gates, fought monsters, and stared down death more times than anyone can count. But season 5 is a little different. The Duffer Brothers seem to be finishing her story, and of course we're still waiting for that emotional mayhem they promised. A lot of guesses say Eleven will die, and judging by the way her season 5 story arc is, it looks very possible. There are a bunch of ways Eleven can die, the easiest being a direct confrontation, like Eleven faces Vecna in the final battle, both psychics unleashing everything they have. We've already seen Vecna withstand her attacks. In season 4, despite Elle fighting with everything she had, Vecna still accomplished his goal. He snapped Max's limbs, nearly took her eyes out, and technically killed her. For that 1 minute her heart stopped. He completed the 4 kills and opened the 4 gates. Even though Eleven restarted Max's heart, he already achieved what he needed. So we get the idea that Elle directly going against Vecna only favors him. She needs a different approach, one requiring sacrifice. The second case would involve Eleven destroying the hive mind to weaken Vecna, knowing that process will kill her. If Will is connected to that network, and Eleven's powers are also derived from exposure to the Upside Down, then severing the hive mind might kill her as well. Think of it as psychic surgery where the surgeon doesn't survive the operation. Eleven could theoretically burn away every connection point, every thread linking Vecna to his power source, but doing so might mean burning herself out completely. Her powers could consume her from within, like an electrical overload destroying the circuit. Another way Elle could die would involve Will directly. Yep, you heard that right. Vecna could take control of Will using his connection to the hive mind, possess him the way he did in season 2, and force him to kill Eleven. Joyce, Jonathan, Mike, and the others would be powerless to stop it. Will would be screaming inside his own head while his hands choked Eleven, or while his new telekinetic powers crushed her bones. This would actually be Vecna's most evil move, making the Byers family watch their son murder their adopted daughter. Even worse, it would force Eleven to either defend herself by killing Will or accepting death at her brother's hands. Either way, it destroys the family completely. In another scenario, Eleven would just willingly sacrifice herself for the gang. Mike and other members of the party die during the final battle. Vecna's army overwhelms them, and the Demogorgons will tear through their defenses. Mike, the heart of the group, falls protecting someone else. Maybe he shields Holly from a killing blow, or he throws himself between Nancy and a Demogorgon. His death will break something inside both Will and Eleven. In Rage Beyond Reason, Eleven sees one way forward. She turns that grief into power, channels every ounce of pain into one final punch, and uses Will's connection to the hive mind as a targeting beacon. She burns the entire network, Vecna included, knowing full well the psychic feedback will kill both her and Will. The last thing she hears before the lights go out is Mike's voice telling her she's the superhero. There's one more case that comes with a bit of hope. Let's say Eleven survives the final battle but loses her powers completely. She could pour everything into defeating Vecna, expend every last drop of her psychic power, and then come out alive but powerless. She'd finally be normal, the thing she's wanted since the beginning, but at a cost. Meanwhile, the people she loves are dead. Mike is gone. Will is gone. Hopper sacrificed himself in some parallel to his season 3 fake-out death. Joyce might lose both sons, Jonathan dying in the battle, Will dying to destroy the hive mind. Eleven survives to watch the Byers family crumble, knowing she's the reason they lost everything. Joyce might understand that Eleven had no choice, but emotionally? How do you look at the girl who killed your son, even if that death saved the world? Vecna's methods for killing Eleven could be his signature move, the bone-breaking, eye-exploding execution he uses on his victims. We've seen it with Chrissy, Fred, Patrick, and nearly with Max. Using this move on Eleven would be a horrible symmetry. He would force her to relive creating the gate, watching Bob die, failing to save Billy, nearly losing Max every moment where her powers proved insufficient. He'd whisper that she's the real monster, that she opened this door, that every death in Hawkins traces back to her. Then he'd lift her, break her, and take her eyes out. Her death would be slow and designed to destroy the morale of everyone still fighting. Alternatively, Vecna might use the environment. We know the Upside Down is toxic to humans. Vecna could trap Eleven in the Upside Down, force her to burn her powers fighting through his forces, and let the dimension itself poison her. She'd weaken gradually, her nose bleeding more frequently, her movements becoming sluggish until finally her body gives out. She'd die alone in the dark, surrounded by the hell dimension she inadvertently created, with no one to restart her heart this time. The aftermath of Eleven's death reshapes everyone left standing. Stranger Things without her sounds impossible, yet that might be exactly the point after all. Just think about it, the show started with the party trying to find Will. Eleven was crucial but not singularly dominant. As seasons went on, storylines started to revolve around her, including her powers, her connection to the Upside Down, her relationship with Mike, and her battle with Vecna. Season 5 brings things full circle by removing her from the equation entirely, forcing the surviving characters to exist in a world they saved but can barely recognize. Dustin Henderson would shoulder the heaviest survivor's guilt. He already lost Eddie, watched his friend get torn apart by demo bats while following a plan he helped create. Now add Mike to that list. The boy who brought Dustin into the party in 4th grade, who served as dungeon master for countless campaigns, and who called everyone together whenever new supernatural threats emerged. Dustin spent Season 5 Volume 1 obsessing over Eddie's death, angry that Hawkins wouldn't acknowledge his sacrifice. With Mike probably dead and 11 also dead or disappeared, Dustin loses his anchor. He screamed at Steve repeatedly this season, resenting his former bestie for reasons even Dustin can't fully articulate. That anger stems from grief, from watching people die while feeling powerless to stop it. Mike's death would shatter whatever emotional control Dustin still maintains. He might throw himself into science or technology, seeking logical solutions to problems he can't face emotionally. He might push everyone away, unable to bear the thought of losing anyone else. Or he might become reckless, seeking death because he feels he should have died with his friends. Then there's Lucas Sinclair. He faces devastation similar to Dustin, but just from a different angle. Max exists in a coma, trapped somewhere between life and death, with her mind held prisoner in Vecna's consciousness. Lucas sat with her broken body after Vecna's attack, watched her bones snap, listened to her say she couldn't see or feel anything, and felt her heart stop in his arms. If Max dies in the final battle or remains comatose indefinitely, Lucas loses the girl he's loved since Season 2, the girl he broke up with and got back together with repeatedly because they were young and learning what love meant. Lucas also loses Mike, his friend from the original party. He might retreat into basketball, into normalcy, desperately trying to rebuild the regular life he once wanted. That was his Season 4 arc, after all. Him trying to fit in with the popular kids, play sports, be normal. But normal died with everyone else. Lucas can't pretend anymore. Nancy Wheeler's losses pile up catastrophically. Mike, her younger brother, the annoying kid who hogged the phone and played D&D in the basement and somehow became the center of a supernatural war. Holly potentially gets kidnapped or traumatized during Vecna's attacks. Ted or Karen Wheeler might die trying to protect their family. Steve could fall in battle, and while Nancy's romantic feelings for Steve faded, she still cares about him deeply. He saved her, fought beside her, became a better person, partially because of her influence. Jonathan might sacrifice himself for her, throwing her to safety while he gets buried in rubble or torn apart by monsters. Nancy spent 4 seasons becoming a warrior, a fighter, someone who picked up guns and marched into hell dimensions. But all that strength couldn't save the people she loved. She'd carry that failure forever, perhaps becoming even more hardened, more focused on preventing future threats, unable to stop because stopping means feeling. Robin Buckley made a crucial mistake in Season 5. She achieved happiness. She helped Will accept his homosexuality. She's planning to take Vicky on a date. She showed herself to be a self-actualized person who passed wisdom onto a younger hero. That's the story code for about to die. If Robin survives but Steve dies, she loses her best friend, the guy who listened when she came out in that Starcourt bathroom, who drove around Hawkins with her hunting supernatural mysteries. If she dies instead, Vicky never gets that date, Dustin loses another friend, and Steve has to carry the weight of everyone sacrificing themselves while he survives. Either option leaves scars. The Byers family becomes the most fractured. Joyce potentially buries both her sons, Jonathan sacrificing himself for Nancy, Will dying to destroy the hive mind. She adopts 11 to give the girl a real family, then watches that girl kill one son and potentially die herself in the process. Joyce has been the show's emotional anchor, the mother who never gives up, who tears dimensions apart to find her children. What happens when there are no children left to find? Does she collapse entirely? Does she cling to Hopper if he survives? Does she become a hollow version of herself, going through motions but never truly present? The woman who painted an alphabet on the wall and communicated with her son across dimensions would have no one left to reach. Hopper's fate intertwines with Joyce's. He wrote that letter in Season 3 telling 11 about keeping the door open 3 inches, about remembering the hurt, because hurt means you're alive. He came back from Russia, survived torture and freezing and fighting his way home against impossible odds. He confronted Vecna on a suicide mission at the end of Season 4 and survived that too. But surviving twice doesn't guarantee a third time. If Hopper dies in the final battle, he at least dies protecting the kids he chose to father. 11 called him Papa in a moment that redeemed the word after Dr. Brenner corrupted it. Will and his family gave Hopper purpose after Sarah died. His death would be noble, fitting, the cop finally giving everything to keep others safe. Yet, it would also destroy Joyce, who finally allowed herself to love someone again, only to lose him permanently. Eleven herself, if she survives Powerless, faces the cruelest fate. She wanted to be normal since season 1, she wanted to go to school, have friends, experience teenage life without powers or danger, or government agents hunting her. Season 4 showed her struggling at Lenora Hills, getting bullied, feeling isolated, lacking the abilities that once made her special. She got her powers back just in time to fight Vecna. Now imagine those powers gone forever, burned out, destroying the hive mind. Eleven gets her wish, she's normal now. But Mike is dead. Will is dead. Hopper might be dead. Joyce might look at her with silent devastation, love mixed with barely suppressible blame. Eleven would live in the Byers' house as a constant reminder of what it costs to save the world. She'd attend high school powerless while memories of telekinetically crushing monsters haunt her. She'd visit Max in the hospital or at Max's grave. She'd exist in the world she saved but feel like a ghost herself. The ending could mirror Mike's D&D campaigns. He mentioned how his campaigns always conclude with the party traveling to a faraway land, a peaceful land, somewhere beautiful with 3 waterfalls. Holly's room featured a Rainbow Bright poster, and in that show's second episode, the evil dark dimension transforms into a colorful paradise. Perhaps the Upside Down doesn't simply close, perhaps Eleven's final act transforms it into something else. The toxic nightmare realm becomes beautiful, a place where the dead can rest. Mike, Will, and everyone else who fell aren't just gone. They exist in some transformed dimension, at peace, finally. Eleven and the survivors can't join them, can't cross over, but they know their friends and family aren't suffering. It's not the reunion anyone wanted, but it's closure. Or maybe there's no closure at all. Maybe the show ends with Hawkins saved, gates closed, Upside Down sealed, but the town covered in graves. The survivors stand at a cemetery looking at fresh headstones bearing familiar names. They don't speak, there's nothing left to say. They simply turn and walk away from the camera, leaving the dead behind, carrying scars that will never fully heal. The screen fades to black, not with triumph, but with silence, with the understanding that victory doesn't erase costs and survival doesn't equal salvation. The spin-off opportunities emerge naturally from this devastation. Netflix announced Upside Down Pictures, a production company dedicated to expanding the Stranger Things universe. An adult Eleven with no powers traveling the world investigating supernatural phenomena in the waning Cold War years. Dustin working for the government, using his scientific knowledge to prevent future dimensional breaches. Nancy becoming an investigative journalist hunting conspiracy theories that turn out to be real. Lucas trying to live normally, while nightmares of Max's death replay endlessly. Each survivor carrying forward alone, unable to rebuild the party because the party died in Hawkins, along with everyone they loved. Stranger Things positioned itself as a love letter to 1980s nostalgia, to Spielberg films and Stephen King novels, and the belief that kids on bikes could save the world. The show succeeded by subverting that nostalgia, by revealing the darkness underneath, by making viewers confront that childhood innocence was always an illusion. Eleven's death completes that subversion. The girl with powers, the one who could flip vans and crush brains and close dimensional gates, proves mortal after all. Even superheroes bleed. Even protagonists die. The only question left is whether her death will be permanent or if somehow, against every logical narrative expectation, she'll find a way back. But honestly, coming back would cheapen everything. Stranger Things already pulled the fake death trick with Hopper. Repeating it with Eleven would feel like a cheat, like the show couldn't commit to its own themes. Sometimes the hero falls, sometimes the cost is everything. Hawkins survives, but Eleven doesn't.